Australia is in the midst of a worsening housing affordability crisis. In Sydney, the median house price has increased from $37,000 in 1976 to $1.4 million in 2024. Although wages have also risen during this time, they have not kept pace with this increase. Consequently, the median house price has risen from 3.7 times the median annual income to 13.1. So, it is clear that this crisis urgently needs to be fixed, and the goal of this video is to help make this happen. In order to do so, this video will first summarize the evidence showing the cause of the crisis. Based on this evidence, I will propose a solution. Finally, I will outline several easy actions that all viewers can take to lobby our government to enact this solution. Beginning with the cause of the housing crisis. This has been investigated by numerous researchers, and these inquiries have reached a consensus. Simply, the rate of home construction is outpaced by the rate of population growth. To understand this further, we will now examine the cause of the lack of construction and the cause of population growth. Beginning with the lack of home construction. This issue has been the subject of numerous investigations, which have identified several factors that prevent an increase in the rate of home construction. This may seem complex, however, there is just one key point that needs to be understood. These issues cannot be solved quickly. This is because the interventions required to address these will take multiple years to implement. As an example, consider the New South Wales government's recently announced plan to increase the rate of home construction. Note that this plan includes building hospitals. A time frame is not provided. However, we can estimate this based on the time taken to build the most recently constructed hospital in New South Wales. Funding for this hospital was announced nearly 7 years ago, and it has still not yet opened to treat patients. This indicates that it will take at least 7 years before the New South Wales government's plan actually results in an increase in the rate of housing construction. It should be noted that this viewpoint is widely held among researchers, with one economist recently stating, "Even if you've got perfect policy tomorrow, it will take many years, longer than a decade." We will now discuss the second contributor to Australia's housing shortage, our growth in population. Since 1976, Australia's population has almost doubled, growing from 14 million to 27 million. There are two components to this population increase. Natural increase, which is simply the difference between births and deaths, and net overseas migration. There are two key points to be aware of from this data. Firstly, since 2006, the majority of our population increase has come from overseas migration. Secondly, the migration rate can be changed immediately by the government. So, we have now covered the key issues that have caused the housing crisis. Based on these, we will now discuss the solution. To recap, the immediate cause of the housing crisis is that the rate of population growth exceeds the rate of home construction. Therefore, there are two possible solutions. Firstly, we could increase the rate of home construction. Alternatively, we could decrease the rate of immigration. However, as we have shown in the previous chapter, increasing the rate of home construction will take a decade. Conversely, reducing the rate of immigration can be done immediately. From this comparison, the solution to the housing affordability crisis is clear. We must reduce immigration. Of course, efforts to increase the rate of home construction should continue, but it should be understood that such efforts are a long-term project rather than a solution to the current crisis. This brings us to the final chapter of this video. How can we pressure the government to enact this solution? Simply put, we must lobby the government, and the first step in doing so is to propose the specifics of the solution to be implemented. Consequently, I have formulated the following 3 policies. First, reduce the annual immigration intake to 0. This is the largest possible reduction in immigration and will hence achieve the quickest possible solution of the housing crisis. However, I also propose several exceptions. Firstly, for clinical healthcare workers, as this is the only sector which is literally a matter of life and death for Australians. Secondly, for construction workers. This is to ensure that the construction industry does not become constrained, as this would prolong the housing crisis. Finally, for exceptional circumstances, as it is impossible to foresee all scenarios in which an exception is warranted. However, explicitly excluding specific types of immigration makes the intention of this clause clear and prevents it from becoming a loophole. Finally, I propose that the previous policies are continued until housing affordability is restored. So, if you agree with these policies, there are several easy actions that all viewers can take to pressure the government into enacting them. For all of these, links in the description are provided. First, please sign the change.org petition that I have created. This may seem like a small gesture, but there are numerous examples of the government taking action in response to such petitions. Second, please email your Member of Parliament. To make this as easy as possible, I have prepared a strongly worded email, and I anticipate it would take 2 minutes to send this to your MP. Third, please share this video so that others may learn about the facts around the housing crisis and contribute to its solution. On a similar note, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and the other social media accounts that I have set up, as I will be generating videos on related topics in the future. Finally, if you are in a position to do so, please consider donating to me via my Buy Me a Coffee account, as this will enable me to put more time toward creating content and setting up methods to lobby the government. Lastly, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for helping to solve the housing crisis in Australia.